All right, guys, how's it going? This is Ethan with Obsidian Funnels, where book jobs is our only performance indicator. And today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to write a local SEO blog post with AI that is actually going to generate you traffic. It's actually going to bring you some leads. It's actually going to increase your rankings. Now, most local SEO agencies are going to promise you, like, let's say 2 or 3 blog posts a month. But in reality, those blog posts don't actually do anything to help your rankings. They don't generate you traffic. They don't generate you leads. And most importantly, they don't boost your rankings at all. So it's basically just something that agencies like to tell people that they're doing just to show that they're doing something, but they don't actually help at all. So here is how to create a blog post that actually helps with AI, and you can basically create a blog post within 20 to 30 to 40 minutes. Obviously, if you want it more detailed, it's going to be a little longer than that, but that's basically it. All right, so over here, I have the site that we're going to be creating a blog post for. So they are Miami public adjusters. And right now they have basically normal blog posts. They don't have anything crazy. I just created these as like kind of like placeholders. But I'm going to show you how to find blog post ideas that actually work and are actually going to generate rankings. And then I'm going to show you step by step how to create that blog and then how to get backlinks for that blog to actually rank that blog. So I'm going to go grab their keyword right here, and we're going to go to step 1. So step 1 is search target keyword and go to people ask, or you can use also ask.com. So I'm going to show you both ways. But the main way is we're just going to go here. We're going to search up their target keyword. And we're just going to go down here, and we're going to go to the people also ask section. I'm just going to click in and out a couple times, right? So over here, you're going to see a bunch of, words, right? Now, if I open up some of these, right, you're going to see a bunch of different blog posts under. So like this is, for example, an AI overview. So we're going to actually close this up. What we're looking for here is a blog post that is actually local to us, right? So like you want to find a question that relates to that city. So Miami, right? Can I hire a public adjuster in Florida? Let's open up this blog. All right, guys, so I went ahead and found a good blog to use. So it's going to be how much does a public adjuster cost in Florida? In Florida, public adjuster, whatever. Anyways, once you go on the actual site, you're going to see the blog. Now, if you scroll down a little bit, what you're going to see here is you're going to see some like purple outline, right? Now, what this means is this is actually the highlight under where this comes from, right? So what we want to do is we want to make sure that in our blog, we have this exact question as well as this exact answer in our blog. Now, we don't want this exact answer, but we want it very similar so we can have some of those names in there. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to kind of analyze. So if we look at this, right, we can go to detailed SEO and we can just make sure that they have everything set up, right? Florida public adjusters fees. Florida best public adjusters, wondering about public adjuster fees in Florida. All right, this is fine. Honestly, all of this is good. Let's look at headings, right? Is their headings good? Yep, these are fine. Links. So they have a lot of links going through, which is good. Images. Okay, great. So pretty much their meta is pretty good. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to grab this URL. Make sure you don't copy this stuff here. And I'm going to just grab this URL here. And I'm going to open up a keyword researcher like SEMrush or Ahrefs. I personally use SEO utils. And I'm just going to go here to backlink analytics. I'm just going to paste in this domain. So it says no data. So this either means on SEO utils specifically, this either means they have no backlinks or very little amount of backlinks. If you go on SEMrush, you'll probably see a couple backlinks. That's just because SEO utils doesn't have that much data. So I'm going to basically take this and say, okay, they don't have that many backlinks, which is a good thing. So I'm going to go to backlink analytics again and then just put in their domain, right? I'm going to delete all of this and just put in their domain here. Florida best public adjusters. So they have 638 backlinks, 230 referring domains. Let's look at the referring domains and rank it by rank, right? So they have near now litigation and appraisal support. So these are pretty good ranks. And yeah, honestly, I don't think this is going to be too hard to outrank here. So I think we are going to use this as our blog. Now, how are we actually going to create a blog like this and make it even better, right? So step 2 is we're going to go on perplexity.ai. So here we go. And we're basically going to switch it over to the research topic, right? Let me log in with Google real quick. So once you logged into Google, you're going to switch it over to the research topic, and you're just going to grab this prompt. And it's basically, you are assigned a role at an executive home service company with the role of researching for local SEO blog purposes. I'm writing a blog that answers, and then make sure you change this question. Are cats easy to train? So we're going to delete this, and we're going to go back to the search, and we're going to grab this, right? How much does a public adjuster cost in Florida? And we are going to answer that, and then we're just going to paste that in, right? So once it's going to research, and it's going to thoroughly figure out what the answer is, as well as give you all the sources and stuff like that. So I'm going to come back to you guys once it's finished. All right, so as you can see, Perplexity basically finished up the deep research. Now, before I even show you guys the research, if we just click on sources here, you can see that there's 40 different sources that Perplexity actually got all of this information from. Now, think about reading 40 different books and then just compiling all that information into one blog post. That's basically what he's doing right here. So you can see all of the research that we have here. Just the research is longer than the actual blog post that we have right here. So we're going to basically grab in this research and then move over to ChatGPT. All right, so I know this doesn't look like ChatGPT to you guys. This is basically Chat LLM, where you're able to use a bunch of different AIs, but we're using GPT-4.1 right here. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go back to this page, and we're just going to grab this prompt, and then we're just going to pull this in. So basically the prompt is, you are a local SEO expert content creator for local service businesses. I'm going to provide you with my researcher for the blog that we'll be answering, and then we're going to change in the question again. So I'm just going to go up here, and I'm just going to grab this question again, and we're just going to paste that in detail. I want you to create only the structure of this blog and use the research to do so. So then I'm going to grab this research, obviously, and we're just going to pull this, and it can be pretty long, and we're just going to press next. So basically what it's going to do is it's going to create a blog structure. So it's going to say like introduction, what a public adjuster does, and then subheadings as well. So this is basically all the subheadings. Now, as you can see, this is 13 different basically headings, right? Now, if we just tell the AI to write all of this at the same time, the AI is going to basically hallucinate, or it's not going to give us the most in-depth analysis or writing of each section. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually tell the AI to write 3 sections or 4 sections or 2 sections at a time, depending on how in-depth and how long you want to take this blog. And we're going to tell it to write each one step by step, right? So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go here, and we're going to grab this prompt. Now, this is like a very, very long prompt. And this is why we only want to write a couple sections at a time, because the AI is already taking in so much information. So we are going to grab this right here, and it will say, okay, so you are a professional local SEO blog copywriter for a local service business with a knack for GQ style storytelling and a focus on SEO readability and user experience, right? So the task is write only the sections I provide after this message. Do not write the full article unless instructed, right? So anyways, this is all of the context, right? And so we're just going to send this prompt. Now, keep in mind how I didn't send the actual sections. It's going to say, understood, I'm ready for your section request. Just let me know which section you want me to write first, right? So we're going to grab this first 3 sections, and we're just going to paste that in here. And it's going to basically generate each section. Now, keep in mind, inside the prompt, I did say don't use EM dashes. And what EM dashes are is, if you go down here, you're going to see these little dashes right here. Now, when you see those dashes, a lot of the time, it's a very high chance that that person who's using those dashes is using AI to write their content. Now, with whatever content that you generate through AI, I really recommend overwriting it. We need some human intervention within our content, right? So I'd recommend going through it and deleting all these EM dashes and either replacing them with a comma or just a space, right? And you can basically change up, the writing a little bit to sound like yourself. Now, as much as this prompt is very good for writing very humanly, like as you can see, let's get straight to it. How much does a public adjuster cost in Florida? like it has a little bit, or if you need to sell a kidney to pay for one, right? So it's a little bit of humor that people like. It's more humorous because a lot of the time people don't think AI can do that, but it can, because you just need to have a good enough prompt. And you can also go ahead, add to this prompt, change this prompt. Like you can say something like, instead of write as if sharing tips over coffee, you can write as if you're having an argument at a club, whatever it is. Anyways, it wrote the first three sections, and you can see it even added in a little table, right? Now I'm going to go ahead and generate the rest of the stuff, and then we're going to get into the next section. All right, so as you can see here, ChatGPT basically finished writing everything. And as you can see right here, I wrote 10, 11, 12, and 13 as the last basically prompt. And you can see how these are kind of shorter than the other ones, right? Because there's more that he has to write. And so he has to basically make each one shorter. Now, what we're going to do next is we're going to basically move this over all into WordPress. And I'm going to show you guys how to internally and externally link, as well as how to do metadata, and how we can actually create images and infographics for this specific blog. All right, guys, so we are now in WordPress, and if you're not using WordPress, yours might look a little different, but it's all basically the same thing. So first things first is we are going to go back into ChatGPT and just scroll all the way up, right? And we're going to find the beginning, right? So how much does a public adjuster cost in Florida? Let's talk real numbers, right? Just going to grab it and paste it in right here. And I'm just going to delete this like second section here. And I'm basically just going to make that a paragraph. Then I'm going to grab everything here. I'm going to skip over his introduction headline and just keep going. And I'm just going to grab everything here and I'm going to paste. So this is the first one. And so basically what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to paste in all of these, and I'm just going to kind of go over it and just kind of overwrite it. So like take this out, add in a space. But basically, you're just going to want to go through the blog post and do all of that stuff. So I'm going to go add everything in and then change up a couple things, and I'm going to come back to you guys. All right, guys. So now that I basically put everything together and I went through and I changed up a couple words, I removed the EM dashes. What I'm going to do is I really recommend you to basically go over it again and just basically, check again just to make sure that you didn't miss anything. I'm not going to do that now. I usually have someone that does it for me that basically just looks over it, rewrites it and stuff like that. But as we can see, as we go through the blog post, you're going to see these little things where it says insert image of a Florida home with storm damage and a clipboard wheeling adjuster here. So part of the prompt that I gave you guys is it's going to tell you what kind of images and infographics to add in. Now, if you don't feel like adding an image or whatever it is, then you can just delete it. So I know that in the beginning, my featured image is going to show up here. So I'm going to just delete this. But you can see basically almost after every section, it tells you what kind of image to add, right? And I think this is just a very, useful thing, because sometimes you don't really know what to add or you don't know what to look for. So if I want, to insert an image like this, what I can do is I can just go here and I can search up like a free image software like Pexels, for example. And I can just, search that in there. And, a lot of the times it won't show up anything. But if you just search up like right here, Florida license certificate, right? And I can just go to images. You can look through these and you can probably find something that you can use for free. All right, just a quick note for you guys. When you guys are adding images, I really recommend adding an alternative text and even going a step forward and changing the name of the file that you uploaded as an image, and basically changing it to your keyword, right? So I'm just going to say public adjuster finding out cost, right? Just something like that. And you can even add in the caption, right? I'm going to take off the caption here, but all of that stuff can really help. All right, so I added in just one image as well as a featured image at the top here. Just changed up this image up here. Now, the reason that I didn't add too many images is we already have those tables. And people that are searching up for this topic, they're not going to really scroll through everything. They're just going to kind of go to the table of contents and try and find what they're looking for. And I really recommend downloading the table of contents plugin for WordPress. It really improves your blog a lot. And anyways, next we're going to basically internally link and externally link this blog post. So first things first, internal links, right? So this is basically going to be like 1 to 2 or 1 to 3 internal links. And it's basically going to be just mainly call to actions and other blog posts. So with us, we usually do like 5 to 6 internal links, but if your site is not super built out like this one, we're not going to have too many internal links to build out. All right, so first we're going to start off with the contact us page. So I'm going to grab the link here and I'm just going to go down all the way to the conclusion. So how much does a public adjuster cost in Florida, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then I'm just going to add in, have any more questions? Contact us for immediate support, right? And then inside the contact us, I'm going to link the contact us internal link, right? So I'm just going to, I don't know why this is like being weird. All right, there we go. I'm just going to click up here, boom, and then link, right? So now you have one internal link. Next, we are going to find if any of the questions in here link with any of our blog posts, right? So we have a couple blog posts. We have how to get home insurance to pay for your air conditioner, how do public adjusters get paid, public adjusters versus independent adjusters, does renters insurance cover mold damage? So I think how do public adjusters get paid is going to be the one that we're actually going to do. So I'm going to grab this and I'm going to go to the post and I'm just going to try and find somewhere where we can add this in. So let's see. Common fee structures. Okay, so we can just, let's get real about how public adjusters get paid. We can just add in this link right here. Boom. Because we're trying to find anchor text that matches up with the actual blog post that we're linking. Next, I'm just going to basically link the homepage here. So we're just going to go down and we're just going to say in Miami and need a public adjuster, reach out to Miami Claim Pros. And we're just going to do this and we're just going to link this. Save. I don't know why this is not saving. Okay, save. All right, there we go. So basically 3 internal links. I think this is good enough. I'm just going to bold this up and make this a little bigger. Give me 1 second. Attributes, advanced. Oh, it's not going to let me. Okay, there we go. Large. So, nah, we're going to do medium. All right, so there we go. So basically, we have 3 internal links going into our pages, which is very good. You basically want to create a structure, like kind of like a spider web, right? So every page links out to a bunch of other pages, and this is going to make it very easy for Google to crawl your website. It's also going to crawl it much faster. So next, we're going to worry about external links, right? So we're going to go back to Perplexity. I hope you didn't delete this tab yet. And we're just going to go back up to sources, right? Now we want to outlink to sources that aren't direct competitors to us. So if we like open up this guy's page, right? Are these guys in Florida and are these guys public adjusters? So let's see where they are. Let's go down here. Yeah, so they do have a Florida, so I don't really want to help them out here. So this is like an external link. These guys are not public adjusters. So basically we can grab this, right? And we can just go up here and find out where we can put this, right? So let's see. Florida public adjuster free regulations. For more information, we recommend this blog. And then we're just going to put that in. Now, obviously, I really recommend, actually looking at the blog a little more. Like, I don't know if this actually answers what they're looking for. So let's just go through it really quick. Okay, yeah. So it says a little bit about the public adjuster, so this can help. But I definitely recommend going through the full blog, making sure it's actually going to help your clients. Now, I recommend going for like 1 to 2 outbound links. You can even go for 3, but too many is, you don't really need it. All right, so this one is like a contracts checklist, right? So we can just grab this and we can just go down here and do to the contracts part. So where is that? Contracts, right? So if you want a full contracts checklist, please refer here, right? And we're just going to grab this and externally link, sorry. All right, guys. So step 5 is going to be you're just going to grab this prompt here. You're going to go back to ChatGPT and just paste this in. You don't have to do anything else. You just need to paste this in. Now, it's going to give you your title tag and meta description and slug for the blog, right? So it's going to give you the exact stuff that you should add in. We're just going to go here and basically, you don't really have to think about this too much. You're just going to add it in. So we're going to add in the title tag here, meta description. There we go. And slug. Now, the main thing is, right, you need the slug to be under 75 characters and title tag needs to be under 55. I don't recommend doing 60. So how much does a public adjuster cost in Florida? This is pretty long, so we can just do a guide, right? Guide, right? Public adjuster cost Florida, that's fine. Discover public adjuster cost in Florida. Get expert advice. Find the right adjuster for your property today. And then we're just going to add a call to action, which is going to be read now. And that's a little too long, so find the right adjuster, get expert advice. Get expert advice, read now. All right, there we go. Save, and that is basically it. So the last step is to actually generate backlinks for the blog as well as your homepage. So the more authority you have, the easier it's going to be to rank any blog, right? Now, I'm not going to go into actually building those backlinks in this video. I'm going to create a whole separate video on how to generate a lot of backlinks with AI and to basically streamline the process. Now, the main thing here is if you're going to do a guest post, we want multiple links going to your blog as well as multiple links going to the homepage, right? So you want basically if you have multiple blogs, multiple links. If you have one blog, then one link and then one to the homepage, right? So each link to each blog, right? And this is just going to basically improve your actual page authority because there's a site authority and then there's page authority. So with this specific blog, we want a good amount of page authority, right? All right, guys. So now that you have your blog done, it should be ranking soon. Give it 2 weeks to a month. If it's not working, then build more backlinks, work on more blogs. Again, your authority has to be a good authority overall, and you need to make sure that you're building page authority. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.